record. Share screen. All right, here we go.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Top Thursday. Today is our second webinar for fall 2021. My name is Elaine and my pronouns are she, her, hers. It is truly amazing to present this information today because last year I was in the same position as many of you. This fall 2021 will be my first quarter at UC Davis, and I'm super excited to present on the UC application process. I was recently hired to work with TOP as a Student Outreach Ambassador, or SOA for short. That's enough about me. With me today are Ala and Jackie. Ala and I will co-present tonight's session. This will be a long presentation, but we will make sure to provide plenty of time to answer any technical questions you may have. Please use the chat for engagement and the Q&A feature to ask your questions. Our top staff, Jackie, will answer your questions throughout the presentation. So if you're ready, let's get started. Here's a quick overview for our discussion tonight. We will look at the application timeline, provide you some tips before you begin your application process, and some insights on how applications are being reviewed. We will also look at each section of the application, as well as providing tips for PIQ. As you may know, the UC application has been opened since August 1st for fall 2022 admission cycle. Other terms like winter and spring application won't be open until later. You can check the University of California website for those terms. Selecting the right term is critical because it will only generate the UC campuses for that specific term. For example, most UC campuses like UC Davis may only offer fall admission cycle. For fall 2022 applicants, although you can start working on your UC application now, you won't be able to submit it until the filing period, which is from November 1 to 30th. Please do not miss this deadline because late applications are rarely granted. For future applicants, you will have to apply 1 year before you plan to start at that institution. For example, if you plan to start school at a UC in fall 2023, then you will start your application process as early as August 1, 2022 to November 30, 2022. For those who are interested in submitting a transfer admission guarantee, you will submit it at the same time frame as your UC application. For fall 2022 applicants, you can submit your tag to one of the 6 UC campuses that offer tag. Be sure to look at the tag matrix for this year to get the up-to-date info about tag. You must submit the tag between September 1 through 30. Once you submit your tag during this filing period, you can still withdraw your tag if you find an error and then resubmit before September 30th. The 6 campuses offering tag are Davis, Irvine, Merced, Riverside, Santa Barbara, and Santa Cruz. So if you're not tag eligible to UC Davis, you can potentially tag to another UC campus. Please don't wait to reach out to the UC's representative as soon as possible. Once you submit your tag, you want to continue working on your UC application and be sure to submit an application to the tag school as well. After you submit your UC application before January 31, all transfer applicants must submit the Transfer Academic Update, also known as TAU, with fall term grades and updated winter, spring, and/or summer planned coursework for the UC application. On the UC application, the priority deadline to submit the TAU is January 31. Students who do not submit the TAU by the priority deadline may jeopardize their chances for admission. You will not need to go back to TAP for any updates, as the TAP portal will be frozen and won't allow you to do any changes, but it's okay. Your application is the most important, so please update all the changes there. During January, you will also have to create a My Admissions account through each of the UC campuses you apply to. Between mid-March to late April, campuses may start to release transfer admission decisions. Most students will receive notification of admission via the campus's applicant portal during the month of April, so don't forget to create and save your login info for My Admissions portal. You'll also need to submit your statement of intent to register by June 1st through your My Admissions portal to only one UC campus. So weigh out fit factors and choose the school that meets your needs the most. About waitlist offers, some students may receive an offer to be placed on a waitlist at one or more campuses. If a waitlist offer is extended, applicants must respond by the about waitlist offers. If an offer is extended, then applicants must respond by the stated deadline. UC campuses very rarely make exceptions for late response. And waitlist decisions, early June to mid-July, campuses will notify applicants who accepted a place on the waitlist of the final decision on their application. And now, before you begin your UC application, we have some tips for you. You should research the campuses now and apply broadly across the system. Learn about the majors offered and all the types of courses needed to earn the UC degree. Be fully informed about graduation requirements and plan how long it may take to graduate. Some majors have different names across the system and may be located in different departments. You also need to gather materials like transcripts and academic records, list of current and planned courses, test scores, awards and honors, volunteer program timelines and hours, employment timeline and hours, etc. You can create a document outlining all of your activities, awards, and work or volunteer experience to be easily copied and pasted into the UC application. Start writing your responses to the personal insight questions. Do it early and refer to UC online resources for writing tips, a worksheet, and a video to help get started. And read the Statement of Integrity and the UC immunization requirements. You can read more about this information from the link sent in the chat. And once you've done gathering everything and following these tips, it's time to start on your UC application. Be sure to use the same email address that you used for your UC Tap account.
Hi everyone, my name is Ala and I'm going to go over how the applications are reviewed. Students must thoroughly complete all sections of the application and do so accurately. This is the student's opportunity to tell the admissions staff about personal details that make each applicant unique. Begin by reading the Statement of Application Integrity. Click on the link on the login page for the application or go to the link in chat. Then regarding academic history, it must be accurately reported, all enrollment, every school/college, including international colleges and universities, all UC transferable and non-transferable courses and grades, even and especially if a course was repeated. If a student accepts an offer of admission, UC requires official academic records to verify the information reported. There's also an additional comments box in the academic history section, and it can be used to provide detailed information or explanations about specific academic issues, such as declining grades, course selection issues, etc. Please write concisely as there is a word limit to this section. Students can also report results for AP, IB, and A-level exams under the exam section. For the activities and awards sections, applications should not exaggerate or fabricate awards or activities because the information submitted is subject to verification. In fact, UC does verify information that students report on the application. It is critical that students do not misrepresent or falsify information, as this is a serious offense and will result in serious consequences. Honesty is the best policy. Each campus will receive the same application and they all review to make sure the minimum requirements for admission have been met. They will look for a minimum of 2.4 overall GPA, and for UC Davis, we will be looking for a minimum of 2.8 overall GPA for most majors and a 3.1 minimum overall GPA for engineering majors. In order to be considered as a junior level standing, students must have a minimum of 60 semester or 90 quarter UC transferable units, and if you have only been taking classes at a CC, even with 100 units, you would still be considered as a junior standing level. If your record is more complicated with CSU, UC, out-of-state, or private school college credits, then please contact your CC assigned UC Davis top representative. The last minimum UC requirement is the 7-course pattern, which includes 2 courses in English composition, 1 course in mathematics, and 4 courses from the 2 different areas chosen from arts and humanities, social and behavioral sciences, and physical and biological sciences. Just meeting the minimum admissions requirement, however, may not be enough to gain admissions to the student's first choice campus. Additionally, campuses may use multiple factors when selecting students. The way in which campuses select students varies, and it is to the student's advantage to include as much information as possible on the application. Admission representatives want to know about the experience, accomplishments, and challenges of every applicant. Pay attention to additional requirements for majors that are considered as selective or capped. Each UC campus has a unique application review process developed by its faculty admission committee. Each campus may place a different emphasis or value on the information in the application in the comprehensive review process. All campuses conduct a comprehensive review. In general, campuses look for strong grades in major preparation courses, to be well-rounded, It doesn't mean a student has to do everything, but campuses like to see evidence of students being involved outside the classroom in activities they're passionate about, an inclusive educational experience. They would like to see evidence that an applicant can be a successful university student. UC looks for students who have challenged themselves in many ways. Students are more successful at our campuses if they have shown academic promise throughout their course/grades, major preparation, and other academic pursuits. We ask many questions as a part of the application process so that we can get to know each applicant. Our goal is to get a sense of the applicant's life, interests, and personality through their application, in addition to reviewing coursework and grades earned. Applicants may put themselves at a disadvantage if they do not thoroughly, accurately, and completely fill out all parts of the application. In general, campuses are looking for well-qualified students who are prepared to proceed directly to upper division coursework in their intended majors. And for more information on the comprehensive review for transfers, please see the link in chat.
Let's get started with the application by understanding the basics. The UC application is mobile friendly, has a built-in 20-minute timeout when it's inactive to ensure maximum security. It functions well with different browser versions, including Microsoft Edge, Firefox version 26 or newer, Internet Explorer 11 or newer, Chrome 31 or newer, and Safari 10 or newer. It also has character counts to show the remaining available space for written response questions. In order not to time out while you're working on your application, you'll need to click Save and Continue. If you do not, any information entered since the last save will be lost. If you have never applied to any UC campuses, you will need to create a new account. We recommend that students use the same email address that they use in their UC TAP account. Passwords must be at least 8 characters and must have a combination of uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols or special characters. Create a secret and question-answer combination that will be easily remembered, and be sure to keep login information safe. Once Create a New Account is complete, an email confirming the start of your application will be sent. Campuses will use email to send critical, time-sensitive correspondence to applicants, so provide an email address that is checked regularly and will be kept until rolling at a UC. Remember to adjust email filters to accept mail from UC addresses. For students who have access to the UC application in the past, you can simply log in and apply to a new term. On return visits, students can enter email and password information under sign in. Once you create an account or log in, you must select the appropriate level for which you are applying as. For example, a transfer student will select transfer rather than freshman. If you already have a bachelor's degree, you'll have to click Other. Again, please work with your assigned top advisor. Some campuses may not accept second BA candidates. Even if a campus will consider a second degree applicant, some majors may not be open to those students. Questions on second degree status should be referred to the individual campuses. Now we're going to show you some quick tips on how to navigate the application. The application has 7 sections. Each section has subsections asking a variety of questions that the UC campuses need to know. When you're working on each section, it is important to save every section before moving on to the next. Each time you're done, there should be a check mark icon on the right corner indicating that section is done, like a number 1. You'd want to complete the information based on documents in front of you. Please avoid guessing answers to ensure that all sections are complete and accurate. Work slowly, but work accurately. If you don't know how to answer a question, write it down on a piece of paper and ask for help. Each section will have a review feature where you can review everything you have entered. There's also one at the very end of the application before you submit it. A pro tip for you is to review the section first to see how you're going to tackle the questions. For the family size and income section, information about a student's parents and/or legal guardians and education, income, and family size is used to provide contextual information about the home environment and to determine eligibility for the application fee waiver. For more information, students can click on the eye icon. This information is not used to determine residency status or eligibility for financial aid. Under the academic history section, for applicants who created a UC Transfer Admission Planner or UC TAP account and entered their academic information into UC TAP, a feature in the admission application allows students to import their courses and grades. We recommend that you review your entries from your TAP account first before migrating the information over to the UC application. Once you migrate the info from TAP over to the UC application, what you update on TAP will now automatically update on the UC application, so make sure everything is up to date, or you can just update it directly from the UC application. In order to import the coursework, applicants must use their UC TAP ID and email address from the UC TAP account when starting the UC admission application. Once you import the info over, you will have a red exclamation mark next to the school or the term for you to review. To make this go away, you have to click Edit, review the content for accuracy, and then click Save and continue to the next page. For fall 2023 and 2024 future applicants, this is why TOP made it a requirement for all students to have a UC TAP account before receiving TOP services. With a filled out TAP account, you can save time because it can be used for tag application and the info can be migrated to the UC application, a win-win situation if you ask me. Transfer applicants must provide information for all colleges attended, including colleges located outside of the US. Once this information is added, all the school information will appear in a table for review and editing. Students can search for their school by name, city, or college code. Again, if you migrated the information from TAP, this info should be generated. Let's say if you have to manually put in the college and academic history, you'll see something like the image on the right, where you have to input when you started and ended at school. Applicants will select the date of attendance, grading system, and level of degree or certification received. Dates of attendance should be entered as consecutive dates, even if enrollment was interrupted. In other words, the first month and year of attendance through the last month and year of attendance. For example, a student will put fall 2016 to spring 2019. For students who enroll at multiple California community colleges, for the question about the most recent college, you want to mark yes on your primary school only. All of the other schools should be marked as no, even if you're taking classes there this semester. This is how the UC system determines your primary school. Students earning the associate degree for transfer will provide this information here, along with the name of the major. Applicants can also indicate here if the grading system has changed. We rarely see this happen, but it does happen from time to time. The application is built on conditional logic, where questions are generated from information entered by the applicant. When applicants do not select the term attended and there is a gap in attendance, the application will ask the student to explain the gap in a later screen. Again, having access to your transcript while you do this section will be really helpful. This section will be generated if you import your info from the UC tab, but should you have to fill it out, here are some tips for you. For California community college students, the transferable course lists for California community colleges are pulled directly from the ASSIST database on assist.org. Each department can be expanded to display the transferable courses by clicking on the plus sign. For non-California community college students, UC does not have the transferable course lists for colleges and universities other than California community colleges, so students must type in department name, course number, course title, and unit value, then select the grade earned. For all students, students must enter all courses taken, even if they believe they are not transferable, they don't want credit for them, they believe the old grades are not reflective of their current academic abilities, an academic renewal or incomplete grade was earned, they withdrew from the course, or they later repeated the course. Missing and inaccurate information may be viewed as falsification and result in cancellation of the application at all UC campuses. Students should use unofficial transcripts to ensure the correct term, course number, title, units, and grade received. Grade codes are listed for applicants. For some schools, when it comes to academic renewal, some schools will keep the grade you have and mark academic renewal on the bottom. When you see this on your transcripts, you should mark AR in your grade code. Students must disclose any terms on academic probation. This will not disqualify a student from being admitted. Admission staff look at this section for an explanation of abnormalities in a student's academic record, such as a break in attendance or poor grades in a particular course or year, or for specific information about the school environment and policies that affect the academic record and/or availability of classes. There's also another additional comment section later in the application with the PIQs. This comment box in this section is for academic history comments. There's a word limit on this section, so make sure you write clearly and concisely. In the test score section, students whose college and university coursework was not conducted in English and who are not native English speakers are required to submit TOEFL or IELTS results. Official TOEFL scores can be submitted to one UC campus, and the scores will be shared with all campuses to which the applicant applies. Please note that IELTS scores must be sent to each campus. Official TOEFL and IELTS score reports must be submitted no later than January. For most students, you may not need to submit your TOEFL if you are enrolled at a community college. It is more common for us to see students with AP or IB exams. International students can report their national or external examination results as well, such as A-level exam results. With advanced placement and international baccalaureate exams, certain AP and IB scores may be used to meet parts of the 7-course pattern, and in some cases, major preparation. Scores must be self-reported on the application. Don't worry about low scores. UC treats them as neutral, but does acknowledge an attempt was made. Official AP and IB scores are not required until after a student has accepted an offer of admission. Do not send scores at the time of application submission. Let's move on to the activities and awards section. There are 5 categories in the activities and awards section of the application. Choose experiences that have meaning, illustrate interest, and/or demonstrate leadership. These are just a couple of examples of the questions in 2 of the categories. For awards and honors, awards which are significant in nature, countywide, statewide, and national, indicate a high level of achievement with significant competition. School-based awards are more meaningful to readers if context is provided, such as 5th place out of 500 students to earn an award. Awards are not limited to academic awards. Someone can put Employee of the Month as an award. For educational preparation programs include but are not limited to MESA, Puente, Umoja, and any summer transfer programs like CCCP, California Community College Partnership. A list of common programs appear in a drop-down menu. If a program is not included, manually enter it. Please consider putting top under Educational Preparation Program. For extracurricular activities, continued participation over time indicates passion, commitment, and sometimes leadership. Enter details about each activity. For volunteer and community service, consistent participation over time may indicate commitment and dedication. And for work experience, this demonstrates time management, responsibility, and perhaps leadership. Some tips you should keep in mind for the activities and awards section are: don't use acronyms for names of clubs or awards. Spell them out and explain your level of involvement. If the full phrase of an acronym is too long, since there's a character limit for the titles, you can just write the condensed name instead. Also, don't list the same activity in multiple areas. For instance, listing an honors society in awards and honors, and also extracurricular activities. But make sure the most important activities are reflected in some way. It will also be easier to create an account or record of your activities and awards on a separate document and provide the information on the actual section, like I suggested for you to do with the rest of the sections. And if an applicant did not have the time or opportunity to participate in school and/or community activities, volunteer or paid employment, explain to application readers why. How else did the applicant use their time, and was it a choice or a requirement? For example, situations during the pandemic, caring for siblings, elder care, commitment to doing homework, research projects, papers, etc. We understand that students are gaining valuable life experience and consider that as part of our comprehensive review. It is important students discuss activities and awards that they did and got after high school. Students should remember it is important to describe their roles, responsibilities, and accomplishments, rather than focusing on describing the activity itself. Activities and awards are subject to verification. The rule of thumb here is to list activities within the last 3 years, unless you had an activity that was impactful to your professional development, then you can go ahead and put it there.
The section I will be talking about is Section 6, Scholarships and Programs. All UC campuses offer scholarships for students who meet specific criteria. The applicant should review each scholarship choice and select all those that match their characteristics, interests, and background. There is no limit to the amount of scholarships that students can select. and only scholarships offered at the campuses that students have selected will be displayed. Our tip for you in this section is to hit expand all, be open-minded, and click anything within the field or have relevance to what you're interested in. In the personal insight question section, there are 4 questions transfer students have to answer. There is 1 required question and 3 out of 7 options. Remember that these are personal insight questions, which is supposed to be about you. It is not an English essay, and admissions staff want to learn what you did and why, what you learned and how you applied it, and what was learned to aspects in your life. Students should use I statements like, I did this, I chose to do this, and I learned about. More details and guidance on the personal insight questions, including a list of all questions and brainstorming worksheets, can be found at the link in the chat. Please consider using the PIQ worksheet to guide you. It has follow-up questions that may help you with writer's block. Some tips I have are read each question and let the question choose you. Avoid listing courses taken. Remember, quality over quantity of examples. Focus on experiences in and out of classes that show interest in the major/field. Discuss how applicant has taken the initiative to learn more about the major/field and gain greater knowledge and depth. More importantly, do not repeat information already shared throughout the application. I would also say that if you have some writer's block, to try and answer every single question and see which one feels the best fit for you. Some more writing tips are to start early and brainstorm topics. Be specific in your responses using who, what, when, where, and how. Write from the first person perspective, such as I, me, and my. Don't overuse humor and try to avoid using quotes. After filling out everything, you will reach the review and submit section. Before submitting the application, students will have the opportunity to review each section. A check mark will appear beside the sections to indicate that the section is complete, such as the About You section in the slideshow. There's a check mark, but the others do not. That means the other sections have not been completed. If students are missing information, this warning will appear. Completed sections will have a check mark. Sections missing information will not. Students can navigate directly to the sections with missing information and update. If you have gaps in your education, you must explain all gaps in the education for each term not enrolled. This will not disqualify a student from being admitted, but it's to help the admission representatives understand that student's full education and life context. Regarding the application fee, for U.S. citizens or permanent resident students, the application fee is $70 per campus. For international and non-immigrant applicants, the application fee is $80 for each campus selected. If an international or non-immigrant student currently attends a school in the U.S., however, they may be eligible to pay the lower application fee of $70 per campus. The application tool will advise of the fee amount on this page. There is also a fee waiver, and it is automatically calculated for California and domestic residents. The fee waiver calculator is activated from answers about the applicant's family size and income. If a fee waiver is granted, the applicant must select yes to accept the fee waiver. If the applicant decides not to answer those questions, they may qualify for a fee waiver but would not receive one. If the applicant makes mistakes on the family income amount, they can correct the information with an edit button. Eligibility for the fee waiver will automatically recalculate with the revised information. Regarding the fee waiver eligibility for U.S. citizens or permanent residents or students who have attended a California high school for at least 3 years, if students meet the low income criteria used to qualify for free and reduced lunch, they will qualify for a UC application fee waiver for up to 4 campus choices, but will be responsible for payment for any additional campuses to which they choose to pay. Students in California on a visa are not eligible for the UC application fee waiver. UC also accepts the College Board, ACT, or NACAC fee waiver, and only one of the waivers may be used. For payment, application fee payment is required and non-refundable. Payment must be submitted by credit card in the application tool or by mailing a check or fee waiver if the student didn't qualify for the UC application fee waiver, but meets established criteria by the waiver provided. Once you submit your application, there will be a confirmation page with the application ID, date submitted, and payment method. Please make a habit to always screenshot or download a copy for yourself. The confirmation will have the application ID, and if you have to contact the help desk for help, guess what they will ask for? Yes, the application ID. So I highly recommend taking a picture with your phone or screenshotting the page. The application cannot be submitted without the applicant's electronic signature and acknowledgement of the statement of integrity. The statement of integrity is to affirm that all information in the application is accurate and the personal insight responses were written by the applicant. If information is withheld, such as poor grades or falsification is detected, the application is subject to cancellation. There's also signature releases. Review and check the release authorizations to share application information with scholarship agencies, parent/guardian, counselors, and/or UC organizations and alumni group. Electronically sign and date the application to verify accuracy and acknowledge that the applicant is the author of their personal insight responses. The electronic signature also authorizes the release of official examination scores to all UC campuses to which the student applied. Information in the application is subject to verification. If an applicant is selected for the verification, non-compliance will result in cancellation of the application and the application fee will not be refunded. This is the application status, and here students can see when their application was forwarded to the campuses, as well as where students can access their Transfer Academic Update, the TAU form, when it becomes available. If you need to make changes to your application, you can make only a few changes once it's submitted, including updating your contact information and your exam scores. You can also apply to additional campuses if they're still open. To make any of these changes, go to Application Status, and these updates can be made until November 30th. Minor changes to activities, awards, volunteer work, employment, or personal insight responses are unlikely to have an impact on the admission decision. However, if a student has significant updates in any of these areas, they may notify us at the UC Application Center. When transfer students submit their application, the notification of the Transfer Academic Update will appear on the status menu. Students may receive notification to complete the TAU by January 31st. And this is the information to the UC Application Center. I highly recommend you take a picture of this slide in case you encounter any issues while filling out the application. In summary, please make sure to also take a picture of this application timeline, plan accordingly, and prevent any missing deadlines that you see here. I hope you stay connected with us, make an appointment to see your top representative, attend group advising, top Thursday sessions, and annual events we host to learn more about UC Davis and what we have to offer. Start with our top website and follow us on social media. Should you have questions about student life, feel free to reach out to our SOA team via top-soa@ucdavis.edu. But all admission eligibility and technical questions about your application process should be submitted to your assigned top representative. I'd also like to personally thank you all for attending our Top Thursday session today. I hope it's been really helpful and informative. Now we will move on to our Q&A section. Jackie, you're muted.
Thank you for thank you. It's always happening at least once. I'd like to also thank Pam for jumping in today. We had a lot of students that signed up to this workshop, and Pam was available to come in and help us out with the chat. So we do have a lot of questions that Pam and I have been trying to answer in the Q&A. If possible, can y'all put the links in the email that I gave you? Can you just pull all those links and then put that in the chat for student one more time, where it's all in one place in the chat, because student was asking for it in the Q&A. So let me see real quick. I could. Okay, one of the students said, thanks for the presentation. You guys provide a lot of helpful information. Keep up the good work. They are doing a fantastic job. Right? You guys, total pro. So I am so glad to have them in our team this year. You're also lucky to have them in this year as well. They'll be a great guidance for you. Let me see. Thank you for all the links in the chat. You're welcome, Benjamin. Let me see if there's any. Oh, here we go. We had a lot of questions about how to contact your top representative. And I kind of want to show that to you really quick. Give me 1 second. All right. So on your browser, you want to type in ucdavis.edu/top. This should take you to our top website. Top website is very resourceful because in here you'll be able to find who your top coordinator is or advisor is. So on here, it says right there, find out when your top coordinator will be at your campus. You want to click on that. Sorry, 1 second. If you want to go here, you can see a list, and we update this every single year. So it's really important that you double check this every single year just to make sure, that's the same person that you've been working with. So for example, ARC, we have a lot of ARC in the house. Lisa is your point of contact. We have Delta. We have a lot of students from San Joaquin. Lisa is also your main contact. Woodland student, Candy is your contact. Jasmine from Yuba. Sierra is also Jasmine. Pam is with Folsom Lake this year. Last year she was the ARC rep. So like I say, it does get moved around as people leave jobs and stuff like that. So just make sure you double check this page to figure out who your top representative is. Okay. And when you click on the hyperlink name, it will take you to the email, and then you can send us an email. So going back to our website, if you go down to the highlight right here, there's going to be 2 different opportunities for you to click on. So Top Thursday is very, very informational. It's very something like this. It's like an opportunity for us to lecture at you, kind of, to provide you a lot of information so that you know how to navigate through this whole process of the transfer process. So you want to click on that, and it's going to have all of the upcoming events, which is right here. We still have a lot of students that want to tag to Davis, but have not yet met with a top coordinator. And if you're at a school that is very popular and we're like run out of equipment all the time, you can utilize this opportunity here, to come in and we can review your tag for you before you submit your tag to Davis, right? Because since you only can tag to one school, we want to make sure that, when you tag, it's not going to be a problem. Does that make sense? And then on the recording video at the beginning, we had a lot of questions about like, where can I get the recording for this workshop? It's right here. You're gonna be able to review the recording here, but starting October, we're gonna migrate all of this over to our top SOA YouTube channel, because from there I can track who is watching it, or not who is watching it, but how many students are watching it. From here, I can't really figure that data analytics. So we're going to migrate this, and it's going to look a little bit nicer because right now the page is a little crowded. It's like it has a lot of information. So when you go, so that's Top Thursday. Okay, so we have PIQ roundtable, we have tag, we have 2 PIQ roundtable in case you review one and then you coming back for the second round, because there's 4 of them that you might want to review, right? So sign up for all of them if you need that extra help. We also have a financial literacy session right here talking about financial education, how you're going to finance your education. So we invited our financial aid officers from UC Davis to come in and kind of talk to y'all about that. And then if you still have questions and still have not submit your UC application, you can always come back to the Ask Me Anything. In this workshop right here on the 18th, we're not going to be presenting this content over. We're going to just answer any questions you might have, and it's going to be in a meeting form. It's not going to be in the webinar format, okay? And then the last one is to just kind of going over like, how do you submit your TAU? Because believe it or not, I have seen so many students who got admitted to Davis, to other UCs, and then they forget to submit their TAU in January. And then they realize, oh no, I missed my deadline. And then they contact us and we tell them, sorry, like you missed your deadline. And so when you miss your deadline, that could also jeopardize your admission, okay? So make sure you don't miss your deadline to submit your fall grades as well as your spring plan courses. So here's another opportunity that you could also re-engage with us. We have group advising workshop, and there's a little information about group advising, what we do, what the objectives are and things like that. When you get down to here, depending on your major, you might see some of these major in the college. We have 4 colleges at UC Davis: College of Biological Science, Engineering, We just had our ads on Tuesday, and then we just had our College of Letter and Science today. So that's why you don't see that on here anymore. But we still have these, and we usually meet with students twice. We meet with them one in September, and then we have a repeated one in November. Okay, and then in October we usually have time to kind of like bring in our representatives from our professional schools to come in to talk to y'all as well as another opportunity to review your UC application, right? And PIQ. So again, there's a lot of opportunity for you to engage with us and to get your stuff reviewed. So please don't miss any of those opportunities if you need help. Okay, I'm sorry, my daughter just got home. Pam, would you like to answer any question live?
Let's see. What is a common question that we get? Well, a common question that we got early on was whether they should still submit a UC application, even if they have an approved tag. Yes, you absolutely need to submit a UC application, even if you have an approved tag. The tag application is simply the tag application. You still have to submit the UC application to the campus where you have an approved tag and to other UC campuses that you are interested in applying to. Another common question, I know this is not the tag workshop, but there are a lot of tag questions in here, and that makes sense. We're in the month of September, it is tag season. So another question was, if they have an approved tag, is there any possibility for their admission to be revoked or rescinded? And the answer is yes. So when you, if your tag is approved, you will receive a list of conditions for your tags. It's like a tag contract. It will tell you exactly what you need to complete and maintain in order for you to keep that guaranteed admission. So make sure that you're just following through with everything in your conditions of your tag. And then those same conditions from your tag will be updated later on in April once you receive your official admissions notification. Let's see.
There was a question on whether is it important to meet with, is it 100% necessary for you to meet with a top advisor, or is it unless you have a concern? I personally would say yes, to meet with us at least once every semester. The reason is because as your record change, things change, and because things change, you need to update us so that we could see what's going on and let you know what's going on. I have had students who don't meet with me, and then the only time when they come and meet with me is when their application is denied. And they tell me that, well, I've been meeting with my counselor and I've been, talking to people that apply with the same major as I am. And, there was no red flag whatsoever as I'm going through the UC application process and the tag process. It didn't, there was no red flag. But at the end, there were issues. So it's really important that you do meet with us, especially in the spring, because at that time we're going to be reviewing it. And top advisor are also reviewers. Okay, you guys, we're not just outreach recruiters who just give you the basics information and then call it a day. We actually review your tags. We actually do read holistic reviews. We do also process your UC application in spring. So it's really important that you do meet with us at least once every semester, just to loop us in what's going on so that we can give you the best advice that you needed.
There were several questions about reporting your AP exams, and even counselors are always confused about this. So if you have AP exam scores of 1 or 2, I tell students to report everything. It doesn't hurt your application. It does not hurt your application to report 1 or 2 scores from your AP, or even a score below a 5 for IB scores, higher level exams. What it does is it provides us some context, additional context to your academic history. So yes, go ahead and put those in. It doesn't hurt your application, it doesn't adversely affect your admission at all. Another question that has come up a lot was the issue about gaps in educational history. So that summers are not considered a gap in your educational history. So that summer right after your high school graduation or any summers thereafter, those are not considered gaps in your educational history. If you had a fall semester or a spring semester wherein you were not enrolled after graduating from high school, then those are gaps in your educational history. And you do need to explain that in your tag application as well as in your UC application. Otherwise, it could delay processing your UC application, reviewing your UC app, because we would have to email you and ask for your explanation. So it just prolongs that process of reviewing. So just disclose everything. Another thing that keeps coming up in our appointments are coursework from other institutions. So if you've attended other four-year institutions, out-of-state institutions, international colleges and universities, those are all part of your academic history and must be reported on the UC application. Again, that will eventually surface during the review process. So, in order for your application to not jeopardize your UC application, just report all of your academic history.
Ask this a lot too, like how long does it take for the tag to be done? Probably the longest if you haven't even get started. Like if you haven't filled it out at all, like this whole 2 years that you've been at your community college, then it's going to take you probably an hour just to kind of like transcribe what you have in the use in your transcript into your UC tab. But usually if you just handle it like, every semester, putting it in the courses that you enrolled in or plan to take, it should be pretty quick. The fastest that I have seen student like submit their tag would be 5 minutes, because they actually read all of the conditions that like when you start submitting it, there's all these little conditions and you have to read it and then you have to check mark all of them before you submit it. So that's why it takes a little bit longer to put it in, but it could take probably as long as 1 hour to as short as 5 minutes if you've been handling it every semester. And you also can withdraw your tag. So in the month of September 1st to the 30th, let's say if you submitted your tag and then you realize you meet with Pam and Pam's like, you're missing this class, you could withdraw it. You can go into UC tab. There is an option for you to withdraw. You withdraw the tag, and then you fix whatever you need to fix and then resubmit it. But the caveat here is that you have to submit it by September 30th. So please don't withdraw your tag at 11:59 and then submit it in 1 minute. That's not gonna, I don't know how fast you can go in 1 minute to submit it, but just know that if you are withdrawing it, just make sure you still submit it before the 30th of that September. So is the tag drop-in? Yeah, so we do have the what I showed you earlier in group advising and Top Thursday. We do have a tag review embedded as an event, and what that is just going to be a 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to review when you register for it. We're going to review your tab ahead of time before you come to that meeting. And when you come into that meeting, our student ambassador is going to put you in the room with the top staff, myself, Fabian, Lisa, or Pam, or any of the other staff that's helping. And you're going to meet with us one by one, and we're basically going to tell you if there's anything weird or not. So it should usually take like 5 to 10 minutes, but you do have to register ahead of time. It's not one of those like drop in. meeting, it's you do need to register because sometimes it takes a while for us to do an evaluation. So we definitely want to do an evaluation, give you all the feedback. You know, if there's something missing, we indicate that in the note. And then when we see you, we just tell you what is missing. Make sense? So hopefully you take advantage of those. We have Top Thursday, like 5 to 6. And then for group advising, we usually have it like a 3 to 4. So I hope you can make it. So we are really good with time right now. We are at 5:52. We still have a few more questions in the Q&A. Okay, cool. Is the tag review on September 26th? If I know the deadline, if I know the date, I'm gonna die. Let me go back to that tab real quick. Give me 1 second. Top Thursday. Okay, so the tag for Top Thursday is on the 23rd of September at 5 p.m. So that's one opportunity for you. The other opportunity is group advising, and that one is at September 15 at 3 p.m. So whichever one works for you, whichever date and time works for you, then you can go ahead and register for that one. Okay. There should not be any excuse to have your tag review, especially if you're submitting it to tag, because unlike any other years, in the past, we only review it during your one-on-one appointment, okay? But this year, we really trying to make it like accessible, like we really trying to make ourselves accessible to you. We're working harder than we needed to, but because we really love y'all and we really care about your admission, because that admission, it's gonna be, you know, your future. So we're really trying to create a lot of these opportunities for you to engage, to get that reviewed. We also reviewing your UC application, which we don't really do that in the past either. So there's a lot of these new things that we have on our website. It's because we really care about the process. And regardless if you're going to whatever UC you're going into, if you have questions about UC application, you can come to us. We can be an additional support for you besides the transfer center that you have. Now, you don't feel like if you can't make it to top, that's it, game over. It's not. Your transfer center also have a lot of the UC application throughout the month of October and November as well. So you still can utilize all of that. On top of that, go to top and use top services. Okay.
There is a question, answer live. Can we use the tag drop-in if we are a computer science major and intend to tag at a different campus that allows it? So like Riverside or UC Merced.
You're probably talking about the event that we're gonna help reviewing the tag. No, that's why it's say tag UC Davis tag review. Okay, we didn't say tag reviews, it's UC Davis tag review. The reason why we say that is because we review tags for Davis. And so we're the expert. We know what's going on with the tag. We know the procedure. We know the process here more than other schools. And so that's why we're offering that. I can't tell you, I don't know if you want to go to Chase and ask about policies with Bank of America. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. I'm not a representation of with Irvine, for example. So whatever I say, there's no credibility for whatever I say to Irvine, right? So if you're submitting your tag to Irvine, please meet with an Irvine rep. Okay, if you want to submit your tag with Santa Barbara, meet with them, have them review it for you. You don't have to meet with them. You can email them too and ask. It doesn't have to be in a form of meeting. But we're the one that's specialized in UC Davis. So if you look at all the links that, in the top Thursday and group advising, it literally say UC Davis tag reviews. Okay.
Oh, I want to answer this question. Should we explain any semesters where we were not full-time or why it took you longer than 2 years to transfer? That could be a response to your personal insight question right there. or if you really feel strongly about, letting us know. Again, it's all about context, right? On the UC application, and providing us as much information as possible about your academic history and your academic chronology. So if you feel strongly about, giving us some information as to why you're not full-time, or why it took you longer, or maybe you had, a pattern of W's, throughout your academic history, or, a semester where you withdrew all of your classes, there's an additional comment section in the tag application. On the UC application, there's also an additional comment section in the academic history section of the UC app. So there's there's also an additional comment section at the very end of the personal insight question. So there's lots of spaces where you can provide us with that extra information and context.
For the tag, a lot of students ask this a lot. They're like waiting for the income before they submit their tag. And for the tag, I'm only talking about the tag, even though this is not a tag workshop, but I'm only talking about the tag that for that part in the About You section, you can leave that out. Fill out the most that you can, but then you can leave that out, because we're not looking at your income to determine whether you're going to be tag eligible. We're looking at the coursework and the major that you're interested in, and the requirement that the UC need, and then from those criteria, we determine whether you are tag eligible or not to offer you the tag. So we don't look at, how poor you are or how rich you are before we make a decision of giving you your tag. Does that make sense? So in that section, you don't have to sweat about the income, having the right, the exact number of the income. However, in the UC application, you need to put that in there, because that accurate number is gonna reflect on how much aids they're going to give you. Meaning, like, if you qualify for a waiver, if, just remember that the UC application is also a scholarship application. So everything that you put from the income to the scholarship section, it's essentially going to come back, and, the financial aid department going to match you with whatever scholarships that we have available to you based on your criteria in your application. So we are now at 5:59. We have 1 more minute left, and then Ala, would you like to close us out, please?
I'd like to thank you all for attending our Top Thursday session today. I hope the information is really helpful as you continue to work on your UC application. Thank you for allowing TOP to be a part of your accomplishments by indicating TOP in your UC application. Our next Top Thursday event content will be on a PIQ roundtable, where you will be working with another student or staff on your PIQ responses. Keep working on your writing, and we will hope to go over them with you soon. Don't forget to visit our website at ucdavis.edu/top. Scroll down to the blue event highlights section to see more content and opportunities to connect with us. Thank you, guys.
Just put the last link in the chat. Please save that link. I found it when I was earlier today, but it's kind of cool because it has the guide. It basically walks step by step on each section for you. So, using this recording as a reference as well as that one, I think that's going to be very beneficial for you as you continue finishing up your application. But that's it for today. Have a great day, and we look forward to see you at our one-on-one appointment, group advising, and Top Thursday in the future. I hope you all doing well. Keep up the great work at your schools, and remember, what you do in this semester and the grades that you bring, it matters. So make sure you get all those A's this fall. All right, guys. See ya. Thank you, Ala and Elaine. Thanks, Pam, for coming.
Jackie's the best.